I go into that, what is the biblical meaning of the word turbulence? Where do we see turbulence? In the Bible, it represents periods of significant distress, unrest, or chaos, both physically and spiritually. Oh, we're probably going through that right now, mid-year. Chaos, distress, unrest, both physically or spiritually, often reflecting struggles or consequences of bad decisions, sin, unbelief, not walking in the yes and obedience that we're supposed to be walking in. Examples of these are storms of trials, personal trials, fear, doubt, temptation, unbelief, doubt. I think I mentioned that. I didn't know. Doubt, double-mindedness. That will create some chaos when you're walking, you're allowing that spirit of double-mindedness and fear. It paralyzes you. So this first scenario, however, we're going to be talking about Peter, the disciples, and Jesus in the midst of the storm. It's not when Peter was walking the storm. No, this comes in another scenario while Jesus was teaching in the midst of that big crowd. Right after it. Examples of the Bible, I already told you. You can see it as a personal trials, internal struggles, fear, doubt, temptation. It's violent, unsteady conflict, confusion. I want you to keep that in mind. However, it also emphasizes that God is sovereign even in the midst of the turbulence. The Bible always emphasizes that He always show up. Jesus showed up always in the midst of turbulence. He's offering guidance, strength, and peace. Always offering guidance, strength, and peace. This week, as I said, we're going to be talking about that two scenario. Today, part one is the storm. The storm. And tomorrow we'll be talking about Jonah. Jonah and his storm. Those are the two scenarios we're going to be talking about this first two part. First scenario, we're going to call it wind and waves. Wind and waves obey Jesus. The winds and the waves obey Jesus. Go on. I want you to read by yourself Mark chapter 4, verses 35 through 41. And I want it that when you read it and study it, that you apply it to yourself, to your current situation. Again, this week, turbulence in the middle. But this first part is called Wind and Waves Obey Jesus. Isn't that? Turbulence in the middle, but the winds and the waves obey Jesus. Always remember that what's in the middle of them too? Your faith. What is your faith? Because your faith is going to play a